Getting wet over the side.
So I make sure I only use it with a condom. That I remember across the way on the starboard side was my son when I was young. Exceedingly young. Marvelously young by hundreds of years, younger than I will ever be again. It's called Tom Sawyer's Island, and is named for a friend from my boyhood. Even today, the only way you can get there is by raft. Old man Harper's grain mill is there, back in the woods just off Tom's Landing. And that's Hunt Potter's pond and his windmill. We almost hanged Muff once, and that's Hunt's Landing. I always did like Huck. He could swear just wonderfully. He and Tom and I spend most of our wild and reckless youth exploring that island. Lots of caves, lots of adventure, if you know where to look. And we all knew where. Next to Big Island and Little One. And if you follow the Wilderness Trail there, it'll lead you right up to the gates of Fort Langhorne. It's the last trading outpost before we head into Indian country. Look off to the port side there. Every now and then, the water under that crest of rock comes to a natural boil and spurts out all over the place like a tea kettle left on the fire too long. The Indians around here used to tell me these geysers were actually unfriendly spirits, upset by uninvited trespassers traipsing all over their sacred hunting ground. Be that as it may, that's Big Thunder Mountain poking up in the sky over there. The Indians named it that because of the sound the falls used to make when the big rains came. Then the miners and prospectors and get-rich-quick speculators showed up, and the name stuck because of the sound of blasting powder going off every few minutes. There's not so much blasting these days, just ghost stories about a runaway mine train loaded down around with simple-hearted, terror-filled folks like you. There's trouble on starboard deck. Settler's cabin's aflame. Take one. Stand alert. Aye, aye, sir. Approved. Stand ready.
Well, Sam, looks like the reports of river fires out this way are true. I know you can see for yourself what low-down, no-good, mangy varmints they are. I haven't heard of them attacking any riverboats, but a few keelboats have had run-ins with them. Not much we can do now except to leave word.
Well, I'll be. Look who's drifted out of the bayou. Off the port, Captain. It's Beacon Jones.
There's no other safe to travel. He can navigate the Liberty Bell. Something you don't see much out this way. That's an Algonquin Indian village. Looks to be from the Powhatan truck. Usually they stay further east. I've seen Seminole and Miami this far west. And of course Shoshone, Blackfeet, and Crow, but I've never seen Algonquins out here.
Lots of game out this way. I've seen moose and deer and plenty of other critters along the shoreline.
Could be why the Powhatans are out this... Has been here a while. Most of the Indians along the river don't quite know what to make of our steamboat. They call it Penalore, which means fire canoe, because of the smoke and sparks pouring out of our top stack. The first time we passed this way, they thought it was the return of one of their heavenly messengers. They said our riverboat was a comet of the sun. Beyond the village, up that hill, is their sacred burial ground. And those who fall in battle are placed atop the traditional bed of death. After nightfall, they'll return to mourn the great warriors who brought honor to the tribe.
Attention deck watch. Shoals to port and starboard. Engine room, steady on.
We're entering shallow water, but there's no cause for worry. Sam knows every shoal and shallow, every snag and...
Red flag touches!
Those of you that have been this way before know that the water can get fairly shallow along this stretch of the river. The leadsmen call out the deck. Each mark is a fathom or 6 feet. Mark Twain is 2 fathoms, and for us that means safe water.
Captain, we're passing Cutthroat Corner. Attention deck crew. Stay alert. If there's river pirates out here, this is where they'll most likely be. Yep, I can hear them from here. But after all the commotion, it sounds like heading west, the Army came in and took them over. My feeling is, these days, there's a lot less frontier and a lot more civilization than is truly necessary. Leachman, give me a depth reading. Sing out.
By the mark, halfway, Mark 1, Mark 3, no bottom, safe water, Mark 3, safe passage.
You see that brick mansion back over yonder there in the woods? I've heard folks hereabouts say it's haunted. They say it was built on sacred Indian burial grounds, so now it's filled with spirits. If you ask me, I'd say the ones telling those tales are the ones filled with spirits. If you want proof, just ask them. They got it. About 100 proof, I reckon. And whatever you do, don't strike any matches if they aim to breathe in your direction. Or you won't just be seeing ghosts, you'll be joining them. We're approaching Liberty Square, which is home port for us. We'll be putting into dock shortly, so those of you on the upper two decks might be of a mind to collect all your parcels and head to the lower deck. If you got young'uns, you'll want to take them in hand before they get out of hand. On behalf of the captain, myself, and the crew,